Hi guys, welcome to a new video, and today will be the final video of this year, and it's the top 5 albums of 2015. Now I always enjoy making these videos because it just highlights my favourite albums of this year, and I've picked some good ones because I think 2015 has been an amazing year for albums. Even though I think the singles chart I don't really tend to, take much notice of anymore. It's mainly albums, but this year's been really great. Some of my favourite artists have released albums as well, 3 in particular. And I'll get started with the countdown. But before I start, I'm just going to mention the few artists who were about to make the list, but were just behind. So you could say they're like in the top 10, 15, 20. I'll just show you because I didn't want to miss any out. And some of these are new releases, which I'll include in my next update, which will be after Christmas. The first one is Janet Jackson with Unbreakable, which is really good. Another one which is Contender, and it's quite new. It's Adele 25. Really good, but just didn't make the top 5. Next is Little Boots, Working Girl. Absolutely love this artist, and this is one of the best albums out of the 3. Not as good as the first album, but a lot better than the second one, in my opinion. Another one is Ellie Goulding, Delirium, which is again another new release. I wasn't very keen on this when it first came out, but it has grown on me, especially because it's quite a long album as well, so it takes more time to get into. But I love the sound of it, so I'll talk a lot more about this in my next update as well. This one's not really an album, this is an EP, and it's Sex Switch from Back Flashes, basically like an EP of cover versions. Love the sound of this, even though this came out at quite a miserable time for some reason. I wish this came out like Halloween time because I think it would have fitted the mood a lot better. And the last one, which nearly made it onto the list, is Hurt's new album, Surrender. Absolutely love this album. It is glorious, and I'm quite new to this band, and I really want to try and get some of their other albums as well. So that one nearly made the list. So those are the odd few, and Madonna's Rebel Heart was another one, but I forgot to bring that one down to show. So those are like some of the best albums. There's been a few disappointments this year, particularly from Lana Del Rey and Leona Lewis, in my opinion. They just didn't really deliver what I really wanted the most. Although I have the utmost respect for those two women, and I will support whatever they release in the future, but they just didn't cut it for me. Sorry, the tree looks a bit miserable because I turned off the lights because the lights were just too bright for this camera, so I turned them off in case if you wonder why it looks really dark and morbid. So we'll get started at number 5. And this was the most trickiest choice out of the 5 albums I picked because this was between this and Hurt's album Surrender, and it was a close contender. But a lot of people might not even know this artist, but she's really talented, and it's Ray Morris with her debut album Unguarded. When I first heard about this artist many months ago, probably about this time last year, I heard a couple of her songs on the radio. I think it was Radio 2 or something like that. And I thought it's got a nice sound, nice voice, the songs are quite catchy. And when the album came out, I didn't buy it when it first was released because for some reason I was a bit unfair. I thought it would be really boring and dreary and every song would sound the same. And so I left it at that until I bought this a couple of months ago, I think it was. And it blew me away, and it was a lot better than I expected. Not just the singles of this, but nearly every track, particularly songs like Skin, Unguarded, Don't Go, Cold, featuring Fires, and of course the singles Under the Shadows, Closer, Love Again, which is my favourite track on the album. It's just a brilliant, brilliant album. If you like artists like Ellie Goulding and Kate Bush, then I think you might like her. She's got a really angelic, breathtaking voice, and it just sounds like she's an angel, in my opinion, because it's got like a really nice tone to it. And nice artwork as well, simple but effective. And I just hope she produces a second album because I would like to hear what she does next. Yeah, so this one's definitely number 5, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what she releases next. Number 4 is an artist. This was nearly going to be number 3, but it was number 4 in the end, and it's Bjork, Vulnicora, the new album which came out earlier this year. As you know, I love Bjork. I've always loved her work. I love nearly all her albums, and this is definitely one of her best. Um, and this is definitely her best album in the last 10 years, compared to Biophilia and Volta. Um, what I like about this album is that this is a bit more of Bjork's signature sound on this album. There's like hints of homogenic, the traditional Icelandic music is on here, along with elements of electronic, which is very, very Bjork. But it's not too arty compared to which Biophilia was. It was a bit too hard to get into with Biophilia, but I think this one is a lot more easier. But at the same time, this is very complex and has a interesting sort of story behind it, and the costume designs, particularly Black Lake, which I think is the heart of this album by a mile. Other great songs as well: Atom Dance, Quicksand, Lion Song. It all flows together so well, even though there's only 9 tracks, but it isn't a very short album at all because Black Lake is a long song, and it just flows together so beautifully. And I'm looking forward to what she releases next. And yeah, fabulous. So number 4 with Bjork Vornicora. Number 3 is an album which came out this year in May, I think it was. And yeah, big fan of this artist now, and I've seen her live. And I think this is the reason why this album made it to number 3 on the list, because I've seen her live in September and it was amazing. And that's Florence and the Machine with her third album, How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful. When the first few singles came out, like What Kind of Man and Ship to It, I didn't really take much notice of them straight away. And then the album came out and I bought it along with the deluxe. And it was very, very, very good. And I fell in love with it. And then when the tour tickets came out, I bought 2 tickets, and when I went to see her live, a lot of the songs she performed were off this album, and it made me love the album even more because she performed them live so well. And seeing her live on stage, the particular song title track, How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful, when that was performed live, that just gave me goosebumps, especially at the end when the horns were playing and there was all this smoke appearing behind her. It was just phenomenal. Electric, oh, brilliant. And I love the album even more now. I'm not sure, I think this is probably my favourite album now. I did love Ceremonials, but I think this one's took the crown for me, and I really can't wait for the next album, even though it'll probably be quite a while for the next one. I don't mind, because I prefer artists to take their time, to be honest. So it's number 3 with Florence and the Machine. Number 2 is an album that came out this year, the follow-up to the debut album, and it's Church's Every Open Eye. This album is absolutely fantastic all the way through. 11 songs, although I would recommend getting the deluxe edition because the deluxe tracks are good as well. Fantastic. Amazing electronic 80s synth inspired music with synth pop elements. If you like bands like Depeche Mode, Eurythmics, that sort of thing, then you'll love this. But just amazing, so underrated as well. It really deserves much more recognition. Leave a Trace, Make Them Gold, Clearest Blue, High Enough to Carry You Over, which is my favourite track. Empty Threat, Plain Dead. It is an amazing album, and it's much better than their first album, I think. And the lead singer has such a lovely voice, very, very pixie-like in a way, friendly, but at the same time it's very captivating, in my opinion. So I really do recommend listening to this if anyone's not really heard of them. So number 2 with Church's Every Open Eye. Now, number 1, a lot of people probably know what it is because I'm a big fan of this artist, and this album is the album of the year for me. It took a few months for me to realise that, but it is at last the number 1 album, and it's Marina and the Diamonds with Fruit. It is a masterpiece album, class all the way through, 10 out of 10. every track I think is phenomenal. My least favourite track on this is the first track, Happy, now, um, compared to when I first heard it. And Gold is my favourite, along with Blue, I'm a Ruin, Solitaire as well. That's become quite a recent favourite of mine. And I like Wheat, although I'm not always in the mood for that one. Um, it's got a lot of different styles on this album, like disco, 80s, a bit of rock as well. So it incorporates different styles from different generations, I think. It has 70s influences, 80s, and 90s as well, including a few things today. I like the fact that she recorded this with a band as well, like a proper full band. And I hope she does this on the next album. I just cannot wait for what she does next because I'm just in love with this artist so much. Again, like Churches, deserves much more recognition. Even though I know that Mina has got a good, strong fan base, she deserves much more sales and press, everything, because she deserves it because she's so talented. So, number one album of the year for me is Fruit by a mile. So yeah, that's it. And that is it. Like I said, 2015 has been a great year for albums again. Probably just as good as last year, in my opinion. So 2016 is nearly upon us now, and I don't really know many albums that are coming out in 2016 so far. I know that David Bowie's releasing one, Black Star, I think it's called, in January. Maybe a few more. Comment if you know anything, or recommend me anything that comes out, because I know in the first couple of months I'm going to be really bored with new music. I also just want to say I'm so sorry, so sorry that I didn't record any updates recently. I've just been so busy with work. I've been doing a lot of overtime and I haven't had any time to really buy anything besides Christmas presents for other people. I haven't really had much time to really listen to anything properly, like albums. I've had some new releases as well, which I'll show in the next update. So I can't really say much about them, including Ellie Goulding and Adele, which I've just shown. And not much else to say. Yeah, Christmas is in a few days. I hope you all have an amazing Christmas, and thank you so much for your support this year once again. And hopefully next year I'll be doing much more reviews, and hopefully a new Tori Amos album will come out, because that is my wish for next year. So that's it, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this favourite video, and speak to you soon, guys. Merry Christmas. Bye.